Hey everybody, welcome to SMG Viewers Comments, episode number 21, where I take a look at some of your comments and questions and answer them the best that I can. Just before we get started, I want to let everybody know that I've got lots of Rule Number 2 shirts in stock in the SMG store, which is in the link below. I've also got tons of stickers in stock as well. I sell 3 packs of those for $7 shipped anywhere in the world. That's right, shipping is included. So if you want to get some stickers and piss off your bass player or your drummer or your singer or whatever, like I said, $7 to ship anywhere in the world. It's dirt cheap. Anyway, on with the questions.
Cheap, good, or decent guitar cabinets? Maybe cheaper alternatives to vintage 30 speakers?
That's something I want to explore, but as of right now, to my knowledge anyway, your speaker cabinet is something you should not skimp on, not ever. Try and look at a cabinet as kind of a lifelong investment. If you buy a Mesa cabinet, like a rectifier cabinet, the oversized, the big one, that thing's going to last you your whole life. So it's probably better worth saving for a good one and getting a great sound for it, because really you can drop a $200 PV Windsor in front of a Mesa cabinet and it's still going to sound awesome. Your speaker cabinets are what's generating the sound. So I'd really recommend investing in a great speaker cabinet because you just can't go wrong. Save your pennies. Meanwhile, I'm going to see if I can dig something up and see if we can find something a little bit cheaper for recording anyway.
This program still won't help me when the drummer brings in a snare or a set of toms that isn't right for the song. The sound of the snare can dramatically affect the feel of a song, which is why most, if not all, session drummers bring a variety of snares to the studio. In the low-budget realm, having a locker of high-quality snares isn't happening. Samples are far from 6 feet under.
Now, I don't know how true that statement really is about, getting the right snare for the song. In metal anyway, generally when you listen to an album, it's going to be the same snare sound from song to song to song. You start changing snare sounds, you start changing drums from song to song to song. Your fans are going to go, what the fuck are you doing? And here's the real truth. One great snare drum, real snare drum, will sound infinitely better than a closet full of sample snares every time. A real snare drum will beat a sample snare every time. You can take that one to the bank.
Hey Glenn, I'm having trouble with this old building and recording. I'm getting a 60 hertz hum in my amp, monitors, and even all of my guitars and basses. I was tracking some bass for a prog rock track, and the engineer tells me that the solos can't be used due to the noise in the back. Yeah, I know, fucking hate bass solo. Do hum protectors work? I just want to know if you heard about them and dealt with them.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of the EBTech stuff for years, actually. I've got the little plug-in unit, the HumX, and then I've got like the little 4-channel unit for cleaning up a little bit of hum and buzz here and there. And then I've got the rack mount unit, which I used for years and years and years, and then I actually cleaned up my power supply, and the problem went away. But if you've got some issues with hum and buzz, check out the EBTech stuff. Like I said, get the little 4-channel or get the HumX. They're not too much money and probably worth the investment, especially in your case. That's one thing you've got to go after more than anything, and should really be the foundation for any studio, is make sure you've got clean power. So yes, please investigate that. And like I said, the EBTech stuff has worked wonders for me in the past. So I'd highly recommend it. And no, nobody's paying me to say that.
What do you mean that zinc oxide batteries are more stable than alkaline? Tell me something. It's still we the people, right?
Yeah, I remember reading this years ago, like late 80s, early 90s, in like Guitar for the Practicing Musician or something about that. Alkaline batteries are designed for camera flashes, so they can deliver a lot of power in a short amount of time, so a camera flash can charge up, whereas the zinc oxide battery has a much more stable curve to it, if you will. So yeah, a zinc oxide battery is actually going to be a better power source for a distortion pedal or an overdrive than an alkaline, because it's got that steady curved power drain. And they sound really great, whereas an alkaline is going to give you a little bit more of a fizzy tone. But don't take my word for it, try it out for yourself.
I love that pedal, but I have a question. I've started recording at home and I have a slight hearing loss in my left ear. Any tips on how to work around this handicap while mixing? Thanks.
Dude, I share your pain. One thing I've struggled with throughout the years was somebody threw a firecracker at me when I was about 18. It went off like right about here next to my ear. And I'm not too fond of that person, that's for sure. And that's something I've struggled with because it's kind of affected my upper mids, somewhere in the 2 to 3 kilohertz range. And it makes mixing kind of tough at times. And, for me, it's always been trust your meters when you're mixing, especially like guitars, that kind of thing. Just pay attention to what's going on the screen and try and work the best from yours. But for me, anyway, it's always been a real bitch because when I pan a single guitar, it'll sound one way on one ear and one on the other, and that's just something you have to practice with and live with. And then, a couple of years ago, I'm on a photo shoot, and one of my flash heads actually exploded on me. You can ask Chris Rafinski, he was right there. We were outside. He actually asked me, "Oh, hey, man, is that going to work outside?" And I'm like, "Yeah, don't worry, it's bright." So as I'm cranking it up, something shorted inside, just bang! Oh, my God. My ear rang for like 3 weeks, and, not happy about that at all. And my ear hurt for a very long time. This is the one place you would never expect to be suffering hearing damages on a photo shoot, but it happened, unfortunately. But actually, I'm no worse for wear. I really didn't lose anything, so that was good. It just hurt like a motherfucker for a couple weeks, but my hearing's pretty much okay. But like I said, that earlier incident with the firecracker when I was a teenager, it's made things a little bit difficult for me over the years, and like I said, I'm not too happy with the person that threw that. So yeah, fuck that.
Woohoo! Love that new wave British heavy metal riff, and the mix is killer. Would love to hear it as a complete song. Thanks for another vid, Glenn.
Well, I'm glad you like that. Like I said, that's the stuff I grew up on. Actually, Rafinski cooked that riff up. That was Chris Rafinski playing guitar on that. And I wanted to go for like a Steve Harris kind of tone with bass, so we just used, the Fender Jazz right into an API, and then, we used like a Slate VMR right after it. And we got that tone. Check it out. And of course, TJ was on drums. It was basically, "Hey, TJ, play the running free beat." And that's how we kind of got that whole thing going on. And away we went. We just got really stupidly lucky with that. And I'm really proud of how that one turned out. I thought it sounded great. I want to hear that as a full length myself. I know Rafinski was quite happy with how it turned out. And just for future reference, yeah, both TJ and Rafinski will be at NAMM. So if you see us walking around, say hi.
What's your opinion on active versus passive pickups?
Most of my 6-strings all have active pickups. I just found it was easier for playing live. My Jackson had some passives in it originally, and I find when I play rests, just stop playing, the pickups would actually hum in the body, so we swapped it out for some EMGs, and that cleaned things right up. That's a great sounding guitar, by the way. I really don't have a preference. I mean, sometimes I like actives, sometimes I like passives. I put a Seymour into my Ibanez 7-string and it sounds fantastic. So there's no real hard and fast rule for me anyway as like what kind of pickup you should have. No, find out what you like. That's my advice.
Refinish or re-upload your cover song, you lazy, dishonest prick. Why make everyone think you're some studio messiah when you were too ashamed to leave the only track you've uploaded recently on your channel? Dishonesty.
Wow. That's the first time somebody's actually accused me of being dishonest. Yeah. Lazy? Yeah, right, because I haven't done this. Not who fucking played it! Or this. Sure, I'm not gonna like everything that people say, but that's what free expression is all about. Or this. Or this. Or this. Yeah, I've been doing 3 and 4 YouTube videos a week. I've been busting my ass trying to entertain you. Sorry to let you down. The truth of the matter is, yes, we have been working on the anime song, and it's something I do want to put out, but it's very slow going because everybody's in school and has jobs and that sort of thing. And that's why I rushed the first one out. I was trying to get it done before the end of the summer so we could actually get it done. Now, with everybody's schedules all over the place, it's very difficult to get our people into the studio, especially at the same time. I'm working, I'm making it happen, but it's still going to be a few weeks before it's done. Right now we've got drums tracked, we've got acoustics tracked, and Garrett Peters has been chomping in the bit. When do I get to do my lead? When do I get to do my lead? So he's going to be doing that probably this week, hopefully. We're going to be tracking vocals in the next week or two, and heavies is I think we're going to be doing by the end of this week as well. I can't wait to put this out because it's going to be a 3-parter. I'm going to show the old video, and then I'm going to explain, the changes we made and what we did to make the song better, and then ultimately the new song. So there you go. Just all I ask is to be patient. Like I said, it's not a case of I don't want to work on it. It's just finding the time and getting everybody into the same room at the same time, because that's the real difficulty at this point.
Oh, getting paid for another opinion?
When I'm getting paid for my opinion, I will tell you that, like the Positive Grid Presents videos, that kind of thing. Sorry for trying to make a living, you know. If you want my unbridled, honest opinion, pay attention to the Fearless Gear reviews. I am not getting paid for any of those. I fucking wish I was, but unfortunately I'm not. So yes, I've actually got to go buy stuff and evaluate it myself. And that was the thing. I bought that shitty power supply and was so pissed off. I'm like, okay, great. This will make a perfect subject for a video. So there you go.
Please never wear a purple shirt again.
Oh, this purple shirt. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry. It's my least favorite shirt ever. The only reason I wore that is as a favor to my friend Kim, who used to sing in the band Perpetuate. And lost her fucking mind and joined some kind of pop band, and that's her new band, Northern Vibe. So yeah, I did it as a favor to her, but her crowd's mostly like 13-year-old girls and that kind of thing. So it's like, okay, that is the only time I'm ever wearing that ugly piece of shit ever again. Seriously, Kim, get some black fucking shirts.
Hey Glenn, what's your take on the distortion used in the self-titled Boston debut album? I've heard a lot of guitar players tout that as a game changer for that time period, and I was wondering if you could discuss that sound, what that entailed, and your own personal opinions regarding the whole thing. Cheers, and thanks for your awesome videos.
Well, that's kind of like the whole Rockman thing, and that was a really big thing in the 80s. I mean, like, Tom Schultz came up with this and then developed the Rockman, and a lot of other bands started using it. I mean, Priest used it on Turbo, hooray. Kenny Loggins used it on Danger Zone, hooray again. And I think Sanctuary, that's World Dane's first band, I think they were using one as well. Anyway, that's what it sounds like to me. I'd have to dig up the facts on that one to be absolutely certain. But what do I think of that? I mean, I think the phrase Black & Decker guitar tone has been used more than a few times to describe that guitar sound. Personally, I really wanted the Rockman XB100 when I was in college because it was this stereo amp and it was portable and it had all these different tones and whatnot, but it was like, even back in 1989, it was still like $1,500. It was going to be a very expensive amp. They're on eBay to be found, but yeah, people are charging outrageous prices for them because they're vintage. Okay, yeah, whatever. They're fucking Rockman. Anyway, you can still buy an actual Rockman if you want that tone. I think somebody bought Tom Schultz's company and is still marketing them. And yeah, they're kind of neat, you know, but they are analog, but they're like solid state distortion, and you either like it or you don't.
Drummer Tom at the blast beat. Holy shit!
Yeah, Cam really fucking nailed it there, but yeah, like I said, just for cleaning up the cymbal bleed on that blast beat, it was just, yeah, the program was absolutely magnificent at doing that. Finally, somebody came up with a solution for an all too common problem.
Makes the snare sound like it's being played with brushes. Thumbs down for me.
You know, I did have a witty statement prepared as a rebuttal for that statement, but I thought I'd ask my friend's opinion instead.
Stupid! You're so stupid! Why don't you come back tomorrow when your brain decide to work?
It still won't fix St. Anger, LOL.
Yeah, unfortunately, not much is going to fix St. Anger. I think there was a band that actually covered all the St. Anger songs with like real production, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, not much is going to fix St. Anger. I mean, like that's literally the Mesa Cab clone of Metallica albums.
So the question to me becomes, with this tool, would you now be comfortable having a drummer set up their kit as they like it, with, for example, cymbals placed close to the drums? Is this software that good that you would no longer be concerned about the kit's setup?
Yeah, you know, that is an absolutely fantastic question, because I've kind of wondered myself. You know, it's like, I'm going to hazard a guess you can probably get your cymbals a little bit closer, but I'm going to say within reason. If you've got your crashes on top of your toms, you know, no amount of tweaking with drum and tom is probably going to fix that. I mean, like, you've still got to, you know, not be a fucking moron about how you place things. Anyway, I think I got Jackson Ward coming in a few weeks to do another session, and he likes his stuff a little bit closer, and, you know, he's impossible to reason with, so maybe Drum and Tom will help out there. Like, I noticed the last time I had him in, you know, there's some issues with the crash bleeding into one of the tom mics. That might, Drum and Tom might actually help that out. We're going to take a look. Like I said, we're going to get things a little closer. We'll put it to the test. Be sure to check it out when we put the video up.
Your snare tone on this video sounds amazing.
Well, thank you very much. If you watch Is the Drum Sound in the Hands video, yes, Cam Fleury had a lot to do with that snare tone. It also had to do with the tuning. I'm working with a new tuning method. Somebody pointed to me a video on YouTube, and I'm going to take you guys through it in a few weeks. It's pretty cool. You actually detune part of the drum. You tune part of the drum higher. Just totally kills the ring. Fucking awesome.
Hey Glenn, just wanted to say thanks for the link you shared in a recent video of DistroKid. After looking into it, I signed my band up using the link you provided. And within 72 hours, we've been added to iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify with more to follow. Great tip. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to more videos.
Yeah, I gotta say, DistroKid's kind of a cool tool, especially because you get to keep all the money you make selling your music. It's only $20 for the year. Check it out. Follow the link below in the description if you want to check it out. I am going to be doing a video in the next couple days because a lot of you guys have asked me, hey, you know, where can I get the Eagle Has Landed? And I want to make that available, so I'm going to set it up through DistroKid so you guys can get it through iTunes or Amazon or Spotify or whatever the fuck you want. And like I said, I'll just take you through it and take you through the whole process. So look for that in a couple days.
How do you feel about direct in?
Direct in is something you should be doing regardless of what you're recording. I always take a direct track of guitars no matter what I'm recording. So that way, if I fuck the tone up, I can reamp later. These days, I find I'm not reamping as much. I'm kind of getting a little better at recording amps. But for a long time there, I was definitely reamping quite a bit just to tweak the tone out. And it's a great way to learn. So yes, always take a direct track.
Hey Glenn, I'm a fan of your channel from the reviews to the funny stuff. Just wondering what you think of the not-so-heavy rock subgenres like pop punk, and your response to the metal elitist who despises genres like it. I like watching your videos if I'm not practicing or at school. I'd like to see your response in the next viewer's comments video.
Well, I think if you're going to open up a recording studio, being an elitist is probably going to bite you in the ass sooner rather than later. Any decent recording engineer should be willing to work with any type of music. That's been my philosophy anyway. And like I've done pop, I've done a lot of pop punk stuff, but I've done Celtic and country and all kinds of different stuff. And you know, everything's a learning experience, so why not? I mean, like the thing I can say about the pop punk thing is, you know, my good buddy Matt Diamante played in this band Shortcut to Last. I did a couple of records with them. We did a couple of music videos. And you know, years later it was Matt who said to me, hey man, what's going on with your YouTube channel? Your stuff's kind of starting to happen. You should really do more of this. So, you know, you just don't know what kind of benefit you're going to have from working with somebody from a different genre. Never say no to a good thing.
Hey Glenn, I love that you do all these videos on real drums. I find them very educational and informative. But would you be able to do some videos on sample drums for all us small home studios? VST drum comparisons, other programs that could help make our digital drums sound better. It would be really super awesome if you could do stuff like that.
Actually, that's been on my mind for a while. I mean, like, I get it. Not everybody can start out with recording acoustic drums. I sure as hell did, and I started out on V drums and then started bringing in, you know, different acoustic elements as we went along. I started out with live cymbals, then live toms, then live snare, and then eventually a live kick, you know, just one piece at a time. You know, recording live drums is not an easy task, and I get that, and it's definitely the expense is definitely there as well. I mean, back in the day, back in my Commodore 64 days, I used to write with a little program called Funky Drummer. It didn't even have cymbals, just like, you know, these horrible, you know, 8-bit audio tones. You know, but it was something to write to, it, something to keep the beat. So believe me, I get it what it's like to be a bedroom musician. That being said, I'm going to be taking a look at the Drum Forge program and Kick Forge in the next week or two because I've been friends with Joey Sturgis for years and years and years from our days on the Andy Sneap board from like back in 06, 05, right around there. And he asked me to take a look at it, so I'm going to check it out this week. But I figure, you know, at the very least, it's probably worth taking a look just to see how they do things. And, you know, my biggest issue with drum samples isn't so much the quality of the samples. I mean, like, a lot of the Slate stuff is just outstanding. The problem is everybody's using the same sample sets and everything's starting to kind of sound the same. So when Joey approached me and said, look, we do drum samples, but you can really tweak them out and get your own tones, I'm like, okay, great. You know what? That might be a little more interesting.
Paul from Guitar World. Definitely check it out. Ray-Ban Masad. It's an amazing piece of gear for a price. Guitar Center. And it comes in a beautiful plastic package. Pick it up at a Guitar Center near you.
Yep, and I'm the guy who calls a piece of shit a piece of shit. That's just how I review. I'm not going to say nice things about something I don't think is worth it. So here's one thing I will tell you guys. If I am doing a sponsored deal to look at a piece of gear, I won't do it if I think it's a bad piece of gear. You know, I can guarantee you that. But here's the other thing is, yes, I just started up my Patreon last week. So if you want to see me remain as an independent reviewer, you know, hit me up on Patreon and support the channel because the more people who do that, the more independent reviews I can do. And I would love to do that. I was just going over the math there the other day, and actually, if 1/10 of my subscribers actually, you know, supported me on Patreon for $1 a month, you know, I could do this full time and give you guys all the independent reviews you want. So head on over to there. My link is in the screen below. And thank you very much for your support. And thanks to everybody who's signed on to Patreon so far. We've got some very cool stuff coming up. And I'm going to do a full-on video for that in the next week, explaining, you know, my whole grand master plan for Patreon and where I want to take the channel and what I want to do. And eventually, it means, you know, taking you guys to recording school online, pretty much. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks so much for your comments and questions. Please keep those coming, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'll see you next time. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to SMG Viewers Comments. Yeah. Fuck off, TJ.